I usually start these voicemail episodes with a joke, but today, since the mood is so bad, I don't think people are in the mood for a joke. People are worried about Aaron Judge, so I wanted to start with a little bit of historical reference. Derek Jeter once went 0 for 34. Barry Bonds once went 7 games without a hit. So we as fans have two options. We can either learn to watch a baseball season the way baseball is meant to be watched over the course of 6 months with ups and downs, or we can panic at the first sign of trouble. What's it going to be?
Hey, Derek, this is Dominique here. I have a question that I don't think a lot of people have thought about. Let's just say Soto wants, 5, 6, 700 million. But on top of that, something that I've thought about, what if Soto says, I want to be a captain in order to re-sign? Would you make him a captain in order to keep him? Just curious what folks would think about that. Me personally, I would do whatever it takes to re-sign him.
Well, to me, that's an extremely unlikely scenario. You just don't come to another team that already has a established captain that's been there for several years and demand to be made captain. That's just not how it works. I don't think Soto would have that kind of lack of tact, and I just can't see it happening. So while I appreciate the creativity of your question, I think it has no chance of ever happening.
I mean, Nestor looked good. That's one of the bright sides. We can at least kind of circle that moving forward. Nestor looked real good, almost double-digit strikeouts in 7 innings. I think he had 9, I believe, off the top of my head. Pretty impressive night. On the other end of the spectrum, though, man, Judge, Glaber, who didn't really get to play today, but still, these two guys, I'd like to see them start turning the page here. Otherwise, it's you just start to wonder with the Yankees' track record. Are they hiding something? Is there some sort of underlying injury?
That is the only thing that concerns me about Aaron Judge, is whether or not he's injured, because the Yankees do have a history of misdiagnosing problems. Judge has a history of playing hurt. He has said that the toe is going to require serious maintenance going forward. Now, he came back last year when the pain from the toe should have been more acute than it would be at this point, and he was great down the stretch. He had 2 3-home run games. He basically was at a 60-home run pace after the injury as well as before the injury. You don't just forget how to hit. I think the fact that this slump is in the beginning of the season is just making people's reactions to it that much worse, because they don't have any recent memories of him doing much this season. We haven't had a chance to see this dynamic duo of Juan Soto and Aaron Judge be hot at the same time. But I promise you guys, if he's healthy, it's coming. Guys just don't go from being an elite hitter to being a nobody overnight. Judge isn't going to hit 180. He's going to get hot. The only thing, I reiterate, that concerns me is if he's hiding an injury. And the reason that does concern me is because that seems like something the Yankees and Aaron Judge would do, because he puts so many butts in the seats and you want people showing up. But I reiterate again, Aaron Judge will be fine. In July, we'll be talking about how great he's doing, and nobody's going to remember this. And we'll be talking about somebody else who's struggling. At that point, maybe Volpe's struggling, or maybe Juan Soto goes into a little bit of slump, and people are like, well, maybe they can't handle New York. Maybe they can't handle the pressure. Guys, we've got to learn how to watch a baseball season with a little bit of patience, a little bit more patience.
Hey, Derek, Nick from South Carolina. Just calling. It was a hard game today to lose. I honestly thought they were going to come back and take that game. I really thought so with Judge and Soto coming up in the bottom of the ninth. Nestor pitched a great game. It didn't go to waste. I mean, we may have lost, but he showed that he at least can get us into the later innings if he's got his stuff. One comment I wanted to make on the hitting: the bats were pretty much all dead. They just didn't really come alive at all. but except for Soto, of course. And I will say this: Judge's last at bat in the ninth. I just didn't like the way he was swinging. He looked like he didn't know what was coming at the plate.
Well, he probably didn't know what was coming at the plate. Most of the time, the hitter doesn't know what's coming at the plate. But yeah, his mechanics are not super great right now. He's out of balance. He's flailing at pitches that are outside instead of taking them to right field. He's getting beat on those breaking balls that are down and in. He's late on fastballs, which is something that we're not used to seeing from Aaron Judge. Max Goodman had some great stats about it last year. His batting average on fastballs has dropped. Now, some of this is probably just timing because of the whole spring training thing. He might have a little bit of something physical going on. Some of it might be age. The bat speed might be slowing a little bit. But every once in a while, he's showing you flashes of who he is, like that home run in Cleveland, the 110-mile-an-hour line drive down the left field line a couple of days ago. I feel like it's coming. We've just got to be a little bit more patient. And that's what I'm stressing in this episode, patience. Yankees fans expect perfection, but perfection is not attainable. And I get upset a little bit when people complain about how much money he's making. He's making that much money because other teams were willing to pay it. The Padres, the Giants were both willing to give him much more money. And so the Yankees had to ante up to $40 million to bring him back. Are there going to be lean times over the course of this contract? Of course. Of course. Every professional athlete goes through periods where they struggle. Michael Jordan missed a ton of shots at the end of the game that he had a chance to win the game. It's sports. It's sports. So just enjoy watching the games as best you can. I know it's tough on days where the Yankees get shut out. And just realize that over the course of 6 months, guys get hot, guys get cold. We've already established that hot is a thing. Oswaldo Cabrera opened up on fire. Juan Soto on fire right now. There will be times when guys cool off and other guys are going to step up and heat up, and that's what's going to happen to Judge. I guarantee it.
I would say, I'm going to call this right now. I believe that Soto is going to fire Boris, and I believe that he's going to sign a contract before the season ends. That's my prediction. A lot of people are firing Boris. I don't know what the contract looks like between player and agent, but I really don't see where else Soto is going to be playing. And, wow, what a great trade. And, he has single-handedly changed this team. Take care, Derek. Bye.
Listen, I hate Scott Boras. I've always hated Scott Boras. To me, he's a scumbag. He's a slime ball. He's driven by greed, and he's bad for the game of baseball. And I'm super ecstatic that he had a terrible winter. But he's going to have a good winter next year because he's got Soto, he's got Corbin Burns, he's got a number of other guys. Blake Snell and Jordan Montgomery might be back out there. Did I just say Smell? Blake Snell going to be back out there. So I don't see Juan Soto firing Scott Boras, not this close to free agency. I could see him re-signing with the Yankees, but he's not going to do it at a discount. I think he's going to get a ton of money, and he's going to leverage other teams to do it. He might have a preference to play in New York, but there is simply no way that he's going to fire Scott Boras before he becomes a free agent. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for the calls. I can sense the angst in a lot of people's voice. I sense that you guys can probably sense that I have a little bit of angst in my voice because it was a frustrating game, and it is frustrating watching our captain stink up the joint. But we got to show a little bit of faith. We got to be better fans than we're being right now. People are really, really giving Judge a hard time. And in my judgment, he's established more credit in the bank with the Yankees than we're giving him. Yeah, he's had some injuries, but when he's on the field, he does the job 99% of the time. And this is just a slump. So guys, settle down, learn to watch a baseball season, and I'll see you after the game.